This is the Brackeys Game Jam 2022, where 10,000 participants face off in a desperate race against time to create a fully functional game. The theme this time around was It Is Not Real, and unfortunately, Australia decided to have one of the worst floods that has happened in a long time. Not only did it wash away these buildings and boats, but also the first 2 days of our development. So anyway, we got to developing our game, and the first idea that we had was about a bear that fights off nightmares of a young boy. But after thinking about it for some time, we found out that the idea just wasn't what we were looking for. It was a little bit stale, and we'd kind of seen it before. But after playing a ton of this game called Boomerang Foo, we were inspired to make a multiplayer party game. Boomerang Foo is a game where you fight your friends with boomerangs, and there's lots of cool, unique mechanics, and we really liked the feel of it, so we decided to have our own take at it and apply it to the theme. So we went with this, a game called Play Pretend. It's a game where you play as a bunch of kids, basically playing with sticks and using your imagination to become warriors. You know, a lot of us did this as kids, where you'd run around with a stick and pretend it was a gun or a wizard staff or a sword. This is stuff that I definitely did as a kid. So our jam started on a Wednesday. We solidified the idea on the whiteboard and got to work. So our biggest challenge at the moment is that none of us are actually programmers by trade, and we kind of struggled to put things together, but Scott got started on the movement day one. Declan made a start on the VFX, and I concepted the characters. We decided to go for a very similar style to Boomerang Foo, but with little kids, obviously. And we came up with these. As simple as they are, I feel like they serve a good purpose and look great for the time that we had, so I'm very happy with them. But other than that, not a whole lot was done on day one. We kind of started in the afternoon and didn't have a ton of time to work with, but overall I think we managed to get enough done to see the week ahead of us go through. Now day two was a lot different. We got so much done, probably worked a little bit too hard if you ask me, but day two was a massive day. We got to modeling, and then the items were suddenly spawning in, the character was rigged and moving around. I started animating and we refined the movement. Basic collisions were happening. It was all going on, and we spent a long time really refining everything on day two. It suddenly out of nowhere became a game that we were running around in. It's times like these that really make me appreciate development and appreciate what it means to be a game developer and work in a team. Everybody was super excited and happy, and we thought we made something playable in a day. It seemed like an impossible task was suddenly made possible. And day three seemed to be just as successful. On Friday, we got to modeling the environment. The animations got implemented, more VFX, the basic attacks were happening, textures were happening, and I pumped out the UI. So we had this entire system ready to go. We were playing around, hitting each other, the UI was coming in. It was a really awesome experience. And on Saturday, we decided to make a tutorial because it was very confusing how to play, and I think that lent itself well to the game overall. The cowboy and wizard were finally able to shoot, the main menu screen was happening, the level switching was there. We textured all of the assets and fixed what seemed like infinite amounts of bugs, but overall this day was incredibly productive, and we were nearing what felt like a game. It was insane. And the final day, day 5, for us was Sunday. This day we put in all of the VFX that Declan had been making, our Juice Master. We had final colliders coming in and a lot more bug fixes. I don't understand where they come from, but they show up out of nowhere. The sound effects and VFX were implemented, and we did our final build. It was all done. And so this is Play Pretend, a party game about beating your friends up in a fast-paced imaginary world where you can pick up outfits that give you special abilities, including the ninja. We had a lot of trouble balancing this guy, but in the end he was super fun and he feels great to play. He attacks very quickly and runs around. The cowboy. This guy shoots very quickly. He fans the hammer and reloads and can roll around. The wizard. This character was one of the funner characters to create and play, but It has these giant explosions when you hit enemies, and they're supposed to be a little bit slower, but I think we made them pretty fast for fun. The knight has big heavy swings, and what we didn't get to put in this jam was reflection, but the knight was supposed to be very good at reflecting and with his big sword throw back attacks that have tried to hit you. But overall, this was a ton of fun. We want to say a big thank you to Brackeys and that we miss you very much. So from the peeps at Voyager, thank you for watching and goodbye.